Hello, everybody. Welcome to Small Talks with Owen. And today's podcast is going to be on success, getting career ready, and personal branding. And since this is our very first podcast, I would like to introduce myself. I'm the host. My name is Owen Wynn. I'm a fourth year student at the University of Georgia, and I'm majoring in Management Information Systems. And today we have a guest, and his name is Angel Rivera, and he'll introduce himself right now.
Yeah, my name is Angel Vera. I'm also a fourth year student here at UGA. I'm studying avian bio and I intend to get into the vet program here at UGA.
All right. Thank you, Angel, for your introduction. So I'm just gonna talk about kind of the purpose of these podcasts. So these podcasts will kind of serve as evidence for my learning in the course called Exit Seminar for Scholars. It's a course that helps us with our transition from university life to life after post graduation, and we'll be exploring different kind of topics like networking, building your resume, financial literacy, just stuff like that that really helps you um, after university, post graduation. So we'll start off. We're gonna start to talk about success. So the first question I'm gonna ask today is also a question that was asked in one of my lectures. Is what is the most important factor that you think influences your success, Angel? Just in anything, either it be academic or just mental health or anything like that. What do you think is a big factor that influences your success?
I think something that'll probably influence my success a lot is like motivation. I think having a good foundation for your motivation would be something that something you can that can help you push you through hard times. It keep you on your feet.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think especially now during the pandemic, since a lot of work is at home and whatnot, it can be hard to find motivation. So I completely agree. One of the factors that we explored during lecture was actually sleep. I know that growing up through middle school, high school, college, a lot of people say sleep is the most important thing. But I think Angel, most people don't know this, but we're long time friends. And do you think we really have good sleeping habits? This is conversational. We can be as honest as you can. What do you think?
No, I laugh because I do not think we have really good sleeping habits, which is not the best. Like we go to the gym a lot, and we as friends, promote each other to eat well and go to the gym. But I think sleep is one of our weakest points that we focus on.
Yeah, most definitely. I think a lot of college students, not just us. We've heard about the restless nights at MOC or at the SLC, the science library. People are always staying up to do their work. But sleep is very important. So some statistics that really back that up are stuff like adults should sleep around 7.5 to 9 hours every night to feel rested and to function. A lot of people don't report reaching the minimum amount. Lack of sleep affects physical health, learning, memory, a lot of things. So like not getting enough sleep is can be really detrimental in the way you study and your steps towards success. Um, and I think a lot of professors also say memories are formed when you sleep. After studying, you never want to do late nights right before a test because that's the worst. I don't know if you ever had any experience with that, Angel. Did you ever pull all nighters, anything like that? Because I know I have.
No, definitely. I've had some all nighters, and even if it's not an exam, life can be busy, and I still stay up late.
Yeah.
So
So going from there, what are some like when you are sleep deprived? What are some of the effects you feel? Um, the following morning when you don't get enough sleep.
well, like we discussed earlier, that motivation that's really important. I think I lose some of that in the mornings when I'm sleep deprived. I'm not really 100% there during lectures, or you know, if you wake up tired, you just don't really want to get out of bed, and you lose that motivation.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like in the mornings, I just feel like tired all the time. I feel like I need like coffee or a caffeinated drink to get me through the day and stuff like that. And in my lectures, I learned that some short-term effects are like foggy brain, worsened vision, impaired driving, poor memory. Some long-term effects include obesity, insulin resistance, heart disease. Prolonged sleep deprivation is definitely not a good thing for our mental health and for our bodies. But there are a lot of things that you can do to prevent sleep deprivation. Um, there are a lot of resources online that you can use. You can do a lot of research online about what you can do, take the necessary steps. Some steps include creating a bedtime ritual that you can be consistent with. Um, have your sleep, the place you sleep, if you're able to, keep it comfortable, cool, dark, and quiet. Um, Limit your naps. Naps can be time killers. I know sometimes I'll take naps for like an hour to 2 hours long, and I just find it really inefficient and kind of a waste of my time. So limit daytime naps to about 10 to 30 minutes a day. Make sure you include physical activity to your daily routines. Manage your stress. I know that's definitely hard and very broad, but do what you can there. And if the problem gets worse than it is, talk to your doctor. I think that's very important. And some other self-care resources include you can get therapy assistant online. That includes like physical exercise and sleep modules. Yoga is really important. I don't know if Angel, have you ever done yoga?
I haven't done any, but I really, I'm thinking of getting into it. Heard a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, I've heard great things about it, but I haven't quite got there yet to attending any seminars or anything like that. Developing those good habits, those good sleeping habits, is really important for I think just productivity and success in the long run. Um, but I think that can shift into our next conversation about good habits.
Can I add something real quick
You
to
can go ahead.
sleep? I, also, I don't know if you dove into this, but I think like time management wise, I think that's a problem for us as well, just managing our time. And I think that would be a good, skill for you to develop. And then that way, you have enough time to sleep. So that way you can dedicate some time to studying and everything. Um, just another good tip for, developing good sleeping habits.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for the input. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and to move on into kind of some of the principles that have been researched for developing good habits. So some things that can help you develop a good habit, not just sleep, but I think just studying, again, like you said, time management, things like that. Things you can do is disrupt cues for bad habits. So modify the context and avoid cues that kind of trigger your bad habits. So maybe like when you wake up in the morning, refrain from looking at your phone, or same thing when you go to sleep, refrain from looking at your phone. Another principle is creating a supportive context for beneficial habits. So, create some cues that help you amplify your desired behavior. So maybe like, for every hour of studying, you get a 15-minute break, something just to reward yourself, just so you can build on those habits. And the same thing goes with the other principle, which is making your beneficial habits rewarding. So emphasize aspects of the behavior that are immediately and intrinsically rewarding. So those habits, make them beneficial and kind of create a reward system for yourself, and all that helps a lot. And then on to the next thing. The other thing I've learned in lecture is some steps that you can take just to be successful. Some foundational steps. One step is to take care of yourself. Rest, reward, and restore. Number 2, create a routine. 3, use learning strategies that work. 4, find ways to maintain a human connection. 5, get an academic coach, mentor, or accountability partners. Angel, do you have any comments on these steps? Do you have any, experience with, any academic coaches, mentors, or anything like that, or some of the learning strategies that you find work best for yourself?
I mean, definitely like the first step with rest, reward, and restore. Um, rewarding yourself after, doing something. I feel like that would work a lot. Routine, definitely, again, building those good habits. And then coach or a mentor, not the top of my head. I mean, but
Yeah.
we can go more into deep
Yeah,
depth with all that.
definitely. But yeah, I think UGA actually has a mentoring program that you can apply for that I've seen marketed a lot around campus, especially during my third year. Unfortunately, I didn't take the opportunity to enroll in that program, but I know it's there, and I know a lot of people enjoy that program. So I do think mentoring does work a lot, and just in my past jobs, even in my current internship, I consider my manager a mentor, and he helps a lot in terms of kind of guiding me towards success and making those necessary steps towards that success. All right. So now let's talk about some resources for success. Um, so today I want to specifically talk about UJ's Career Center. I'll be talking about the Career Center a lot today because they offer a plethora of resources that students, I think, undervalue, because there's just so much that they offer that really just benefits us. So the first tool we're going to look at is the careers outcome page. Are you aware of this tool, Angel?
Actually, I'm not. I mean, I've always hear you talking about the career center, but I never really was, introduced to all this.
Yeah. So before I took this course, I actually kind of knew about this tool, but it was revisited and refreshed while I was taking this class. But basically, the career outcomes page is a place where you can view some of the statistics and data behind your major or your school. So real quick, since we have our laptop here, we can actually take a look at it. So I can show you really quick. All right. So for those listening, what you can do is go to career.uga.edu. There's a tab at the very top on the navigation screen that's called Career Outcomes. And once you hover over that, you can go to UGA Career and Salary Outcomes. And then you can do results by major or results by college. I'm gonna go ahead and do mine just to show you, just to talk about my experience with it. I can go to results by major. And then I'm gonna Control F to find the Management Information Systems major, bachelor's degree. So on here, you guys can't see it, but you guys can go ahead and try it on your own when you guys have time. But for the class of 2019 for Management Information Systems, there's about 232 people who responded, so that's a pretty good amount of people to go by, pretty big pool. So about 90% of people in my major were employed full-time right after graduation. So that kind of shows, what kind of route most people in my major take. 7% is continuing their education. I'd imagine pursuing master's or pursuing postgraduate opportunities. 1% are in internships, and another 2% in the seeking area. And then if you scroll down, you can see kind of summary of salaries. You'll see kind of the highest salary, the lowest salary, the median, number of people reporting bonuses for the full-time jobs. Really interesting. So the median salary for my major is about $67,000, which is without a doubt pretty appealing, I think, for me and a lot of people. And then you can also see employers and kind of the position titles they've hired for. See companies like Accenture, Amazon, Anthem, AT&T, Make America, a lot of technology-based companies, and stuff like that. Deloitte, that's actually the company that I'll be working for after graduation, so that's great. So that's a little bit about my major. I'll actually talk about the graduate. There's also a list of graduate schools that a lot of MIS students attend after graduation. So we have schools like Cornell, Georgia State, Georgia Tech, Mercer, New York University, UGA, so all that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and look at Angel's major, avian biology. So we have kind of mixed, a business major and a STEM major. All right, here's avian biology. Do you see anything interesting, Angel, about the stats?
Yeah, especially so we have the employed full-time continuing education, and continuing education has a 63%, which is pretty high, which is not that surprising. It seems like a lot of these, people who undergo avian biology probably want to go through the same route that I'm doing and apply for vet schools and things like that and continue on their education. But it's interesting to see this and see that a lot of people are having similar routes as me.
Yeah.
But it seems like it's a small pool, not as big as yours, as far as reports go.
Yeah. Yeah, for avian biology, it's kind of a smaller sample size of 19 responses, but I still think it's a pretty good indicator of where a lot of students decide to go with this major. There's also some employers you see like Animal Hospital, North Gwinnett, Petco, Zoo Atlanta. So a lot of people, or some people who find full-time jobs after graduation are working there. Then here, Angel, I see the graduate schools that people go to. So there's the vet school UGA, the vet school of St. George's, Midwestern University. So that's all very interesting. Have you applied for vet school, Angel?
Yeah, I have. I actually applied for the UGA vet program here. So I pretty much just applied for this one. I'm not really trying to go out of state. If I don't get accepted, it's just something that I'll just work on my resume a little more. And again, looking at this, it's something that can help me improve my resume.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is an awesome resource to see, what everybody else is doing and what schools they're applying to. Yeah, but definitely good luck with the UGA vet program. I'm sure you'll get in. But we're gonna go ahead and go into our next topic, and this is getting career ready. So like you said, you're talking about the resume. So do you have a resume, Angel? Have you kept up with it, updated it recently?
I do. I actually had to send one over to some of the individuals writing recommendations for me, just so they can kind of catch up with what I've been doing. But I don't think it's as detailed as I probably want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sort of.
Yeah, same here. I do have a resume. As a business major, perfecting the resume is an art that's expected out of a lot of us that are business majors. So I have quite the experience with that. Every time I secure a new position, find a new job, or get a new certification, I add it to my resume. I try to update it, try to keep it as updated as possible. That kind of goes into my next question. We are experienced in creating resumes, or almost out of school, so I hope we are. So what was your first experience like creating a resume? Just to, I know when I was a lot younger, I didn't have that much experience. So for any of our younger audience, try to calm some nerves about the resume building experience. So what was your first experience like?
So mine wasn't too bad. I actually, it was in high school. We had like kind of like a mentor coach also looking over. It was him, kind of giving us an outline, and then we, went through it, and he helped us, kind of make any improvements. It wasn't, he wasn't too nitty picky, I guess, but it was just something that have an outline for, so as we get older, we can add on to it and do updates and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think the same goes for me. Like my first resume was back in high school. I just put my part-time jobs on there. It was pretty generic. I try to add like a lot of color and stuff like that. But comparing my old resume to the resume I have now, it has dramatically changed. Not just the content wise, but the way I format it. Kind of following the do's and don'ts of resume that a lot of people like to point out, and actually goes to my next topic conversation is the resume checklist. So in my lectures, we actually went over a checklist that our resume should have. So when creating your resume, you should probably go for 1 page in length. I know a lot of employers like to see 1 page resumes because they're easy to handle, and because a lot of people apply to one position. So 1 page in length is, I think, perfect. Tailor your resume for the position you're applying. I know some people like to use just one resume and just send it out to multiple employers, but I've heard a great tip is, tailoring your resume for each employer depending on what they're asking for, and that can help you really stand out. Make it neat, well organized, easy to read, consistent in formatting, um, proper grammar and punctuation. I think that's very important. I think it's never happened to me, but I can only imagine that it can be a little embarrassing if you have grammatical problems in your resume. Make it appealing to the eye. Have it printed on quality paper. I know when we had career fairs in person, a lot of people had their resumes printed out on resume paper. It was like this paper made out of like parchment material. It was really nice. So there's that. Use strong action verbs and power words. Keep it updated. Avoid high school information. I think I had a problem with this when I was first making my first resumes as a freshman. Um, well, I guess that's the only information I could add on there, but they avoid high school information. Avoids duties, includes, and responsible for. Use numbers and percentages. That really helps employers kind of quantify and kind of imagine your influence on said company or said workplace. So have people proofread it. I know the UJ Career Center hosts resumes checks. I've been one to myself, and they're really, really helpful. Actual employers come on and help you fix your resume and add whatever you need. And then avoid personal pronouns like I or my. So Angel, looking at this checklist, do you see, what do you think about these tips? Do you think they're helpful?
Oh no, yeah, definitely helpful. I think especially like tailoring to the specific company, just because it's going to be hard to decide what goes on there, especially when you only have one page in length. But I guess tailoring to a specific company makes it easier. You can have like different experiences on different resumes when again you're tailoring to a specific company.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and if for the UJ students out there, if you're still having trouble with creating a resume, again, the UJ Career Center has magnificent resources, and one of the best resources that I've come across is the UJ Career Guide. When I was a second or third year, I didn't really have any professional experience or just any experience in the industry. A lot of my job experience came from part-time jobs like as a cook at Dairy Queen, as a sales associate at Kohl's. Those jobs that almost pay a little bit above minimum wage. So the responsibilities are kind of common or not as quantifiable. But on the UJ Career Guide, you can actually here, let me pull it up real quick so I can show Angel. But I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. But yeah, the Career Guide has a few examples of how you can market your part-time experience, and I think that's really cool because whenever I put fry cook on my resume, and I didn't know how to market that and how to make it look professional. But the Career Guide helps you out with that. So if you worked in restaurant services, they give you examples. So instead of saying, I guess, instead of saying let's say if you were a waiter, instead of saying, taking customer orders in an intense environment, you could say, effectively perform multiple tasks such as blank, blank, and blank in a fast-paced environment. Or you could also say things like management customer relations, such as complaints, recommendations, and accommodations requests. That sounds a lot more professional than what you might have otherwise put. And the Career Guide also offers examples for bartenders. So right here we see check identifications for 75 plus customers per night to verify age requirements for purchase of alcohol. First, they added number 75. That's quantifiable, and I think that's just the way that it's marketed is a lot more professional than you might have put it. Do you have anything to say about this career page right here, Angel?
Not at the moment, but I mean, I'll definitely gonna take a look at it on my own time.
Yeah, and it has examples for if you were a tutor, you can say I tutored 10 undergraduate students and blank, blank, and blank. Just overall, this page really helps you just market your experiences. on a more professional level. Oh, and this is one of my favorite ones. While working at Kohl's, I was a cashier, and in my previous resumes, I would put like I was a cashier. That can definitely be expanded on. So the example that I kind of took from the career guide and made it my own was, you know, effectively utilize company specific point of sale system. That sounds really professional and a really cool way of saying I learned how to use the cash register at Kohl's. So yeah, and you can also help you market other experience such as your class projects, your study abroad experiences. UGA Career Center does the intern for a day program, which is pretty nice. So you can do that as well. Research assistant. If you're a student athlete, they have some stuff on that. Stuff on office assistants. Just a wide range of ways you can market your experiences. So that's very, very cool. All right, and on to the next thing. After talking about the resume, we're going to talk about a CV, the curriculum vitae. Do you know what that is, Angel?
I've heard it a lot, but not specifically, no.
Yeah, so my experience with the CV is very limited, but I know it's different from a resume in that you kind of include everything you've done in your academic and professional career. I know it's often longer, and your roles and responsibilities are written in paragraphs. It includes stuff like your research, teaching experiences, publications, grants, fellowships, licenses, awards, and any other relevant information. And I know CVs can span from like 1 page to 3 to maybe even 5, but my experience is very limited. And I know some students have CVs when they're trying to apply to grad school and whatnot. But yeah, and then next thing we're going to talk about is the personal statement. Have you had experience with that, Angel?
No, I don't think I did.
Okay. Yeah, me, I haven't really had that much experience with a personal statement before, but I hear it a lot. I've never had to submit one, professionally. But I do know it's kind of like your own, and I've learned through this class. The same thing with the CV. I kind of learned all those things through this course, through the lectures. But personal statement is kind of like a telling of your own personal, authentic story and how that fits into your goals and your ambitions. And I know the personal statement is used a lot in certain grad school applications, kind of explaining, how your story fits in with your ambition and your goals. So some components of the personal statement includes one, answering the questions asked, if that's applicable, telling your unique and authentic story, avoiding cliches, being specific with examples, finding an angle. I think that goes with kind of linking your personal experience with your goals, telling what you know, making sure your content is appropriate, and having your personal statement edited and critiqued many times. So, if anyone is looking for additional information on these last two documents, again, UGA Career Guide and Career Center has invaluable tips on creating one. A lot more valuable tips I can give right now because my experience is very limited, including Angel's. So we'll go ahead and just move on to the next one. This will probably be the final talking point we'll be talking about today, but we'll be talking about networking. As a Terry student, as a business major, we're encouraged to network whenever we can, especially during the recruiting season. So Angel, have you had any experiences with networking or anything like that?
Yeah, actually I have. So right now I work as a receptionist at the UGA Vet Teaching Hospital, and I don't think I would have been able to get this position without networking. I've actually was exposed to this opportunity through the pre-vet club here at UGA, and they always send out jobs in the area that you can apply to and things like that. So having people there that care about helping others, networking is really important. It seems like you don't want to just blend in in the back and expect things to kind of just I guess like you want to work your way through networking and talking to people and figuring out where these opportunities are, because you're not just gonna
so I guess just kind of making that initiative to find those opportunities instead of waiting for them to come to you. Yeah, that makes total sense, and I completely agree, because as a Terry student, I've gone to, so I guess you mentioned the pre-vet club. I've gone to clubs to network. As an MIS student, one of the biggest clubs that you can join is the Society of Management Information System, SMIS, and they're always hosting networking opportunities, company informational sessions, and I remember before pre-COVID, I would always attend those in person. And last semester I attended online through Zoom, but it's just a great way to meet people in the industry, ask questions, learn more about how your personality and how your skill set fits into those into that career. So as a Terry student, I want to offer some of the resources that I've found really useful. So some things like the Handshake events page. So I'm pretty sure I know a lot of UGA's students are aware of the Handshake, that they have a Handshake account linked to their UGA email, and I'm gonna show Angel real quick. Are you aware of Handshake, Angel? Have you ever used it?
I heard about it. I have not used it myself. No.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, basically this is UGA's online job board, and they have an events tab, so you can go to uga.joinhandshake.com, log in or sign up, then go to the events page, and then it kind of tells you kind of all the events that are upcoming for the week and for the month, and a lot of them are informational meetings where you can come in, learn more about a company, and get the opportunity to network with the hosts of those events. So I've found those really helpful. I've attended multiple events on the Handshake page. As a Terry student, we get emails called This Week in Terry. So for your visitors, for the my Terry audience out there, those weekly email newsletters you get, they are filled with links and invitations into networking opportunities. So please utilize them. Again, like I talked about, some Terry-based organizations like SMIS, I have used a lot. I know for every business discipline like finance, accounting, have their own clubs. So those organizations are super helpful. And then the career fair. I know a lot of people are kind of, or can be a little fearful of networking at the career fair because it can be a lot of things are happening, especially when it's in person. But it's an opportunity to meet so many employers and network, and just network and get an opportunity to network with them. Even if you're not interested in the positions that they're offering at that moment, it's just a good chance to put a face to your name and building your personal brand there at the career fair. Have you been to a career fair, Angel, here at UGA?
No, I haven't been to specifically the career fair, but I think in the poultry club we have this IPPE, which is similar. You go to talk to big companies within the poultry industry, so I feel like those go hand in hand, and I know a little bit more about them. But since I haven't been to the career fair, I'm not really familiar with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right. But I know you found your own way to network through the pre-vet club, so I'm sure you're well off. Another resource you can use is LinkedIn. I know a lot of Terry majors out there have a LinkedIn, but just if you already know what company you want to work for, you can go to said company and go on their LinkedIn page, and then go to their people and find out the people who've graduated from UGA that work at said company, and connect with them, send them a nice message, and ask if you can meet them for 15 minutes on Zoom to talk about the company and talk about their role. I know my experience with that is that a lot of people are happy to offer help. Even though I'm a fourth year student and I'm not in the work industry yet, but I'm happy to offer advice to anybody, to any freshmen or second years that are looking to seek it about my experiences. And I think that's the same way with other people on LinkedIn and other people that are already in the industry. And I think that's the main reason why I'm making this podcast. It's just to pass down knowledge, not only to prove what I've learned in this course, but to kind of pass down my experiences and my knowledge and these topics to other people. And I think that is it for today's podcast. Any final remarks, Angel?
Um, I mean, this is a lot of good information. I mean, kind of wish that I knew all this earlier, but I mean, I know it's all been there, and it'll be a lot helpful for other incoming transfers or freshmen.
Yeah. Yeah, that last thing you said about wishing you knew this earlier, I definitely wish I knew this earlier too. I now looking back, it was always there. But as a first and second year, and a little bit of my third year, all of this I did not know at all. And I think for me, as that pressure of finding a full time job after graduation, kind of caught up to me, and I think it really pushed me to learn about all these resources. Um, but my advice to anyone younger than that is to take the initiative now, to look for those resources now, because it will definitely pay off in the end, because you already know what you want to do and how to do it. So these are some great resources, and I'll add links to all these resources down in the description so that everyone can have access to them. And that would be it. Thank you for listening to Small Talks with Owen.